Alrighty guys, so the actual paint correction has been completed on this Audi, and now we're going to jump into the actual application of HydroSilex Chrome, which is their top tier 7 to 10 year coating. So now the way the warranty works this coating is if it's a used vehicle, the maximum amount of the warranty you can get is this full 7 years. If it's a brand new vehicle, you can get up to 10 years with that warranty. But in this case, the car is used. I think there's about 60,000 miles on here, and we're going to be putting HydroSilex Chrome on the hood just to show you guys how to apply it. Now, when you get this coating out of the box, you do need to take the top off, and you're going to notice right away that there is a seal on here. So for safety reasons nowadays, they actually seal this completely. So in the box, you have to take this out. So you don't have nails, use a screwdriver, but you need to pop this little top off. There you go. You do get a little stopper. So put this in here and use your thumb to just jam it in there, and now it's good to go. So the other thing with this coating and all coatings in general is that you do get a set of gloves. I highly advise you wear gloves when you're using coatings. We once had a student at one of the classes said that he loves doing ceramic coatings because his hands get all hydrophobic after he's done doing it, and he would run water on his hand. That's not good, gentlemen. You're not supposed to be putting that on your hands. There's always warning messages on this for a reason. So if you're not the kind of person who likes to wear gloves when you detail, I advise you wear gloves for the actual coating application. You do not want this on your hands. It may seal up your hands, it may look cool, but it's not healthy for you. I've never got a rash for it, but just to be careful. So once you get this all gloved up, please get this part done. Now, before you actually go to apply the coating, one of the most important steps is going to be your surface prep. Now, if you guys have been following us for a long time, you know I like to stick with whatever chemical membrane you're using. If that coating company has a coating, use their panel prep. And this is, in this case, we're going to be using the HydroSilex surface prep. Now, one thing about this product is that it actually does not have alcohol in it. This is more of a surfactant. It's kind of a soap-based panel prep. This is going to be a little bit safer, especially if you're working on an older car where they have some of the older clear coats. If you get a lot of alcohol on them, you can swell the clear coat. So this is why we do sell a ton of this product. We have shops that have been using this for doing PPF, for doing other brands of ceramic coating. But if you have a favorite brand that you like to use, you can definitely use that. The main thing is this is one of the most important steps. So even though we've polished and fully wiped down and cleaned this, there's still going to be polishing oils left behind, which we need to remove before we apply the coating. So take your favorite microfiber towel. These are 300 GSM ones. Open up your sprayer, and you just want to spray it. Now you got to remember with these panel preps, you're asking them to remove all the oil, so don't be afraid to spray a ton. We had a few people that just do one spritz like that, and they're like, okay, that's it. No, you need to get a nice good amount of stuff on the surface. Wipe it down first to remove all your polishing oils. Some people use 2 different towels. Then we'll flip over to the dry side, and we'll mop up the remainder. And this stuff flashes pretty good. It doesn't really streak. You obviously want to be working in a nice, cool, dry environment. Do not try to do this outside, especially if it's your first time. You want to make sure that the surface is nice and cool. So when you go to wipe off, you're not going to get any streaking, no issues. And now if you come in, and I'm sure if you guys had that field vision, you could feel this, but if you go to feel the panel, it should be nice and sticky because now we've removed all the oils on here. So now this panel is ready for us to apply the coating. Now when you guys get the coating, like I said, it does come with a set of gloves, comes with stickers, comes with stoppers. But it also comes with an applicator. Now, if you want to use the suedes and the block applicator, comes with a little, microfiber, little cloth and a little foam block. You can use that. Here at Detailing World, we definitely prefer to use the applicator comes in the box, or we do sell another set of the 12. You only get one, so if you're going to be doing a car, just use the one. You can flip it over and you technically have 2 sides to it. If you drop this, you only have the one, and don't worry, like I said, we do sell. The only difference with the one that comes in the box with chrome is that, chrome and lead, is that there is a piece of plastic in here on the liner to actually go and help coating not to absorb in the applicator. Plus it's also kind of big. So we're going to take our chrome. Now, if you guys have taken our paint correction class, you know I like to, when you're priming your pad or getting it ready to go and polish the vehicle, you need to add 5 to 6 pea-sized drops. So you do a lot the first time to kind of prime the pad, and then going forward, we're not going to use as much. And it's the same thing with this. I'm only going to get a good amount of coating on here to get this nice and saturated, but then going forward for my next pass, and I'm going to show you guys here in the video, for my next section I'm going to do, I'm not going to put as much. If you keep putting tons of coating on here, you're going to run out of coating on a job, and it's not a fun time to have to drive back to us to come pick up another one. You want to try to see if you can just, now you don't want to put a lot less. So a lot of guys will try to stretch this bottle out. The thing you got to remember is that when we are putting coating on the surface, we are applying ceramic into the cracks in the clear coat. So clear coat's not flat. It's got little ups and downs and kind of valleys. We're applying coating into the cracks, and we want as much of that actual material, or the good stuff, in the actual coating itself. So in the actual clear coat itself. So when we put it on the surface, you're gonna put a good amount on. Now, a lot of people ask, do I do circles? Do I do X's? Do I do squares? It doesn't matter. The main thing is you want to get it on the surface. We have some customers that come in that want to do circles, Mr. Miyagi style. That's fine. I myself teach the box technique. So what we're going to do is, well, I'm not going to do it just yet, but I would put my applicator down on the surface, draw out a box, and then once I'm ready, kind of like back in grade school, we're now going to color in or fill in that box. So you fill in your box. This way you can kind of break the carpet into a giant checkerboard. So I have this square done, I'll do this square, that square, and guess what? After you do enough squares, the whole car is done. So that's the easiest way that I've found to do it. We've had some students that do this similar, where they'll draw a box out, but then they'll do circles to kind of spread out. Either way, as long as you're getting coating on the surface, it's gonna be the best. The main thing is you wanna try to get an even amount of coating on the entire surface when you're doing this. So enough talking, let's get this thing applied. So here we go. So we'll take our applicator and we'll turn the coating upside down, and you're just gonna kind of jiggle the bottle to get coating on. Like I said, you kind of just want to put a good amount the first time to get a good amount of the actual active solids on here. Now, this coating, a lot of people are going to say, well, Derek, you know, I've used a bunch of coatings before. This HydroSilex chrome coating is a professional grade coating. This is going to be a little bit more, as I like to say, substantial on the surface. You will feel where you applied it, especially when you go to wipe it off. You will feel exactly where you applied it, because this coating is extremely slick right off the back. You know exactly where it's been and where it hasn't been, so there's no kind of, hey, did I coat the area? When you take your hand and feel the surface, you'll go, okay, there's something there. That's how heavy this stuff is on the surface, which is a good thing for you guys. This is why this coating is rated for 7 to 10 years. So here we go. So we'll put our applicator down, and now we'll draw out our box. And then once we have our box drawn out, we're now gonna fill that box in. Like I said, it's back from like grade school. You just color in the lines, try to stay in the lines. Don't go be going outside. So once it's on the surface, now hopefully you guys can see us in the camera, but this coating, it does bead up. So initially it's gonna look like kind of, almost like little wavy patterns, almost like oil slick on water, as they like to say. And then after that, it's gonna start to bead up. Now, we're gonna be using these lower 300 GSM towels, and these are gonna be a little bit lower pile towels instead of the fluffier ones. And this is gonna help us pick up the transfer solution from this coating and get it off the surface. So now you can see here, we have beads, all these little beads. It means it's time to buff this stuff off. So we're gonna take our first towel, and this is gonna be our first initial wipe off towel. And I'm gonna go and buff off the coating. Now this coating is not hard to apply, but if you mess up, you need to know what you're doing as far as getting out, because if this coating does high spot, you have to polish it off. There's no in between. We're not licking our fingers and wiping it off. This coating needs to be polished off, because once this stuff hardens up, it hardens up. You also need to have all of your equipment right near you. You don't need to have your towels across the room. Your towels need to be right next to you. So that's why I have this little cart here. So once our initial wipe is done, looks pretty good, but we're gonna use our second towel, and this is gonna be our insurance wipe. So now I'm gonna take this, and not only am I gonna wipe where I applied the coating, I'm also gonna wipe past where I applied the coating. The worst thing you could do is if you apply this coating on the surface, and say for instance you get coating on this panel, and when you're done coating you decide to go this way, and you don't come back around to this panel to finish coating until you get to here, now you have a giant high spot. So always wipe past the panels you're doing. Now this Audi has pretty heavy body lines where you have a very hard point here and a hard point here. So on a car like this, I like to use the points of the body lines to actually go and help me kind of figure out where I'm gonna apply. So as you guys saw, I didn't go past this panel because this has the way the hood sits on this car. So now when I do my next panel, I know that I don't have to go here. I can just do this one section as one panel. So just this top section's done. Now I'm gonna do the bottom section. Do application one more time to kind of show you guys. So once again, now remember, I put a ton of drops initially to actually go and prime this pad. So because I did that, now I don't have to use as much. So I'm gonna put this on, and that's plenty. So remember, we did from here down, so same thing. So I'm gonna put my applicator down, do the rest. Now we'll fill that box in. See, these Audis, they have very sharp points. This is the newer ones. I think they smoothed it out a little bit, but you know Audi, they gotta have all the nice stuff in there, make the car look cool. And wipe into the coating to remove it. So not pushing down super hard, but we're pushing down enough to help remove this transfer solution. It's almost like we're removing wax, since this is how nice this stuff comes off the panel. So get initially you're wiped off. Looks pretty good. Grab our second towel. And then we're just gonna, like I said, our security towel is just to make sure that we got all of this off. Now, one tip I was told, and we actually did this at one of the training classes, is if you were gonna coat a panel, the entire panel needs to be coated at that time. We actually let this stuff set up one time when we were testing this product. We've been testing this product since October. We coated a panel, only half of it, and left it. We tried to come recoat the second panel a few weeks later, and you can see a distinct line where we didn't because of how thick this stuff is. So you need to kind of make sure that if we're gonna do the hood, we're not gonna just skip it. We're gonna do this entire hood now. We're not gonna then try to go, I'm gonna do here and then continue down the car. I'm gonna do this whole hood at one time, this whole fender at one time, and then this whole door. Not at one time the whole application, but you kind of want to make sure you just don't do half a panel and then come back a couple days later, hours later, try to do it. So this is how to apply HydroSilex Chrome. Lit is a very similar application. The only difference between the two coatings, obviously, is Chrome is the premier one. It's going to be your 7 to 10 year coating. Lit is a 3 to 5 year coating. So if you guys want to check this out or get certified in this coating, because we got to make sure that every single person knows how to do paint correction, because we don't want just anyone applying this coating. We want to make sure if you guys are going to offer the warranty, you need to know what you are doing. So we're going to be offering certifications for this coating. It's not if you've taken our paint correction class, it's not a ton. I think we're going to be charging $100 for that. It's just to kind of make sure that you have the right products, you have the right knowledge, you have the right paint correction information, and you're a legit business. So your car has been coated with Chrome or Lit, and now you're looking to maintain the vehicle. So what do you need? So obviously a good pH neutral shampoo will be perfect. Hydro even has their ceramic wash, which is a very good maintenance wash and a good prep soap. But what am I going to use to spray the car? Because now the car's coated, we don't need to be using wax or any kind of any rub it on or buffing off type product. So we have, if you want to stick with inside the HydroSilex brand, for your quarterly maintenance, they have their HydroSilex Recharge. Now, Recharge originally was lasted about a few months. It was one of HydroSilex's first products that came out with. It's a very easy DIY coating, but you can use it as the maintenance top coat for Lit or Chrome. So this you would use on a quarterly basis. So you just spray it on, wipe it off. Heck, you can even use it weekly if you really wanted to, but you would just, it's a very simple product to use. While the vehicle's wet, you can spray and wipe it on. While the vehicle is dry, you can spray and wipe it on, but you want to make sure it's being done on a clean vehicle to get the most out of this product. It can be used on pretty much everything that has chrome on it. You can even use on the glass, trim, anything you want. Now, for those quick messes, for those, get fingerprints and you want, say someone of your friends over here touching the side of your car and you're like, hey man, what's going on? You want to get those fingerprints off and you want to do it safely. We have two other products which are going to be more of your detail spray. You have HydroSilex waterless wash / quick detailer, where this just has a little bit of ceramic in it and surfactants in it to kind of help break up stuff and to be used as a waterless wash. And then you have our in-house stuff, which are going to be our Detailing World's Quantum Ceramic Detail Spray. Both products can be used while the vehicle's wet. Use it for door jams. Both of them contain ceramic, and they're going to keep the coating on the car as good as it can be.